Live from a garage in Gainesville, Florida, like two muertos de hambres. It's El Cuban Dudes show with Andy and Abel. From the 305 to the 352, from Miami to Gainesville to Orlando to Tallahassee to Jacksonville and beyond. It's time for El Cuban Dudes show of Florida. Dale. Let's cut that shit. Let's give a round of applause for today's episode. Today we were supposed to have Mauricio Bermudez on, who is a stand-up comic on occasion and an actor more than anything else. But he couldn't make it. He's working on a project, so we at least appreciate someone like Mauricio letting us know that he can't make the show, unlike some other people we know. Yeah. We don't understand to this day what kind of Cubans are ginger, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. Yes, at least he let us know.
Yeah,
Today's show. What was that?
I say that was nice of him.
That was nice of him. He let us know. That's what a regular gentleman does. So we will see Mauricio probably sometime in the future. Today's show is going to be good. It's going to be fun. We're going to be talking zombies. We're going to be talking toilet seats.
I love toilet seats.
No more toilet.
Diana's exhausted of toilets. You're here with two dudes that all we do is talk toilet crap pretty much all day long.
Yeah, you sit there all day long.
Yes, that's what we do. And then we're also going to be talking parents and parent drama, and then we'll be talking horror movies. I mean, this is almost an episode I feel like we should have had during Halloween, but hey, nothing says we can't revisit our questions.
Because we also will have Mel with her with that
her
app
ghost thing.
Her ghost thing, and we'll be
Speaking of, is that ready? You her? I know you live next to her, so you should know.
No. I haven't really spoken with her. I've seen her that she likes a couple of things of the show and all of that, but I haven't really gotten. But we should call her one of these days and just say, "Hey, where you're at with this?" Because
we know this person who's creating an app to like hunt ghosts or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
I can't wait to use it.
I can't wait. I told Mel. I know this deviates from what we're planning here for the show. It's what we typically do.
Yeah.
But I told Mel, I said, when you have this app ready, you need to let us know, and we need to go and record this, like at midnight somewhere. Go to like an abandoned building or like some insane asylum or something, and use this.
I'm down.
I'm down too.
Yeah, do those EVPs and everything, trying to get some voices on there.
I'm down too. But I mean, we might need your cousin to
Tirana.
afterwards.
Okay.
Because, or my cousin who's a babalao to fucking remove whatever jujus we got once we leave that place.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we don't need no more bad luck in our life.
No, man, we're already in a garage. It can't be any worse.
So yeah, no, I mean, I was saying, Mauricio wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
Bummed because in a way, he seemed like he could be a fun guest. I think the questions for today would probably have made a good conversation, but nonetheless, we hold down the fort. We don't cancel the show because somebody can't make it. It is what it is.
Hell no, we won't go.
Hell no, we won't go. And we have a lot of plans. I mean, Abel and I spoke today for quite a little bit, and we have a lot of plans for not only continuing this this 2.0 version of our show, which usually has a comic on the fourth seat, but we will have specials, meaning we'll continue to have interviews like we used to have before, and other things. This Saturday, we're going to go cover a local event here in Gainesville. For those that are Gainesville audience that watch this episode, do you want to tell them really quickly what this event is?
Absolutely, guys. So I would love to invite you guys to go. It's going to be at First Magnitude Brewery here in Gainesville. We're going to have, it's a ceviche festival, guys. So you're going to have ceviche from all over the place. You know, the Peruvians are, to me, the best when it comes to ceviche, but there will be Mexicans doing ceviche. There'll be plenty of other different types of Latin food. There will be live music. There will be DJs. Go support the event. This guy, it's actually being promoted by Radio Miraflores. It's a Latin internet radio station. The name of the DJ is called Don Gacy. Go, please, guys. We'd love to see you there. We're going to be doing some interviews. Is that right, Andy?
Yes, interviews, coverage. speaking to those that are partaking in the event, food vendors, whatever the case is,
Yes.
DJs, the owner, of course, those that run the brewery. What's the name of the brewery again? Where they're
That's
going to
first magnitude.
First Magnitude. First Magnitude local brewery here in Gainesville. As you guys know, we're physically located in Gainesville. Some people are confused. Some people think we're actually in Miami.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is Gainesville guy, and even though that it's a Latin festival in a sense, we all speak English. We all
Right.
love America, man. Just go over there, support us, support the event. He'll have other events coming up with more local bands, more bands coming in from South Florida and Orlando. I mean, this guy is doing big things.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we are going to start the show officially here with our questions. For those of you that are watching us on Instagram and on Facebook, please go ahead and switch over to our YouTube platform, which is Cuban Dudes on YouTube, or YouTube. Here, let me include. I'm going to include here really quickly the link for those of you that don't know. Unfortunately, I cannot include a link. I'll include the thing. So it's youtube.com/ at Cuban Dudes. That's what I call it. I don't know what that would be, ampersand Cuban Dudes or Cuban Dudes on YouTube. We need, guys, we need the eyes, we need the subscriptions on YouTube. We need you guys to jump on there, subscribe to our channel, watch us on there.
18 plus,
Yeah, 18 plus. This is not a show for kids, of course.
not a kid show.
So we will be primarily, as it's always been our focus, streaming to YouTube. We offer our stream to Facebook and on Instagram, but we're gonna cut that, at least for the time being, because we definitely need the eyes and the focus on YouTube. So go ahead and jump over to watch the show, as we will be cutting the feeds from both YouTube, from Facebook and on Instagram. So jump onto youtube.com/ampersand Cuban Dudes, and you'll see the live feed there. Jump on and join us, which is going to be a fun show. So goodbye, Instagram and Facebook peoples.
Bye bye. So
Oops.
I wanted to
Yes.
say, be a gentleman and say, how are you doing, D? Welcome to
Hey,
the show.
hey, I'm here,
How are
just
you,
listening,
how,
and
how are you doing? How are you feeling today? How was work?
good, tired, but
Had a lot of kids today?
yeah, they build a
Pringles?
Pringles,
They built like a
ring.
Pringle ring or something like that. I think it's called a
Ooh,
Pringle.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's like
man, that's
Say that.
hard. All
it's
Say
one of
right.
that
those.
3
It's one of those
times.
challenges or something or whatever.
Yeah, it was a challenge. It was physics.
Cool, man. I know you're a good teacher, bro.
All right, let's go. Enough
Let's
shit
do
talk.
it. All right, no, we gave him enough time to click onto YouTube. Now let's get this fucking show on the road.
All right, so here's the first question, guys. You guys prepared? Oh, we need a drum roll sound effect.
I don't think I have a drum roll.
No, we don't.
We don't have a laugh
But
track and a drum roll. I still have to talk to you about all the stuff
yes,
we need
we
here for the
do. We
panel.
do definitely need that. And by the way, for those of you that are watching us on YouTube, for some reason I don't have the counts anymore. The platform we're using doesn't give us the counts anymore of how many people are watching.
Why is that?
I don't know. But for those of you that are watching live, 352-234-4888, give us a call if you want to chime in on these topics, if you want to talk to us, if you want to give your opinion, your 2 cents, whatever the case is, your life experiences, something funny, whatever. Call us. We're here. We would love to talk to you. It would enhance the show. So give us a call, 352-234-4888. So,
Coño, tu madre.
Despiértate que va a empezar el show.
despiértate,
Hey!
coño.
Gave me a heart attack.
That's
All
it.
right,
kid.
so here we go. Here's the first question of the day. The first question being, how long would you last during a zombie apocalypse? Or, how long would you last in a zombie apocalypse? Now,
Mhm.
I'm going to defer to D on this one first. D, tell me, how long would you last in a zombie apocalypse?
I think I'll last good long.
Really?
Yeah,
That's shocking. That's surprising.
Really?
Why?
Yeah.
because I know how to cook. I know how to
Zombies don't eat.
herb. No, for us.
There's
Uh,
there's
no,
no electricity during a zombie
Oh yeah,
apocalypse.
but I can cook with a fire. I know how to make a fire.
Do you?
I know how to cure use things with earth's herbs.
What herbs are we talking about?
Come on, I pick berries. I can harvest things.
Listen,
I
I'm taking
know
the spotlight away from her, not to keep
she's
her.
she's not a hunter gatherer.
I am a hunter and a gatherer.
I know. I was.
Yeah, totally.
The only thing that has got going for her during the zombie apocalypse, which I do give her, is plant related shit. Diana like just knows plant stuff. Like we'll be out somewhere and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's this and that," or "Oh yeah, you could eat that," or "No, you can't eat that. You'll die." I'm like, dude, how do you know this shit? Like
Really?
I've been with this
Yeah.
woman since I was 15 years old. Like I would know if she was like a plant, like if she was like a botanist. So I don't know where this came from. She just knows all this
What
stuff.
just like when there was that one time that I think in the beginning of spring that I drove up here and you had all the girls eating some shit out of the tree and I was like, what the fuck is that mamoncillo? That she said like, no, this is good. You can eat this.
Loquats.
And she started fucking, "Pa," she started no, prueba esto, and the shit was good.
Brother,
Yeah.
those are loquats, bro.
Well, I don't need that.
You're making it seem like we're
I
eating
don't know what the
hierba.
fuck that is,
We're eating
bro.
grass, like we're eating grass.
I eat whatever's in Publix, you know,
Yeah.
bananas, apples, pears.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird? We always deviate from the main question, but it's what's fun about our show. Um, we have chickens. You know this. We have chickens,
I'm dying to
and
taste one.
and we we have this weird phenomenon that happened in our house where the kids in particular in the beginning when they were laying eggs they were
Uh-huh.
grossed out by eating the chicken eggs that we have.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I think honestly I ended up researching after the fact because
Mhm.
believe it or not it kind of affected me too a little bit, not as much as them. I was kind of like I know this comes out of their ass.
Right, and
These
you
are
still
our
see the little
chickens.
yeah, and you see the little shart on the eggs and stuff.
These are our chickens, you know. But I wonder why that is. I wonder why we're conditioned in such a way where we don't trust anything unless it comes from Publix.
Right,
It's
because we've been
because everything has to be pasteurized. Everything has to be in a process and heated and boiled and this and that.
and
And
they look
you know,
prettier, dude. I mean, tú has visto una manzana que linda se ven en
that's that,
Publix,
but
and then
that's
you
Yeah, with all that
scary.
wax and all that
yeah,
shit on it.
dude. But then
That
you go
should
to
be
Aldi's.
scary.
Well, I mean, it is, but then you go to Aldi's and the shit don't last 3 days on top of the counter. But that
Well,
wax, keeps it
Well,
in
because fruit
case.
fruit is not supposed to last that long. I mean, like if you're in nature and you grab an apple from a
Yeah,
tree,
once you pull it from the tree, the life source is
you know,
done.
you're
Yeah,
a few days later you're supposed to eat it. Like nature
right,
doesn't say, "Well, I'm going to keep this here for you guys for months until you
right,
decide to want to eat
right.
this."
We've been conditioned, so I guess that would be the right answer.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
I think I did find that fascinating when it did happen. It was
Mhm.
like, well, holy shit. Because once again, I kind of was affected by that as well, a little bit. But when it comes to a zombie outbreak,
Right,
Back
going
to
back
that.
I
to
would
that.
murder my chickens. I would stab my dog in the face and eat it. I would eat my cats. I would fucking. I'm not. I'm talking about we're starving. We're dying. There's nowhere else to go. We have
I
no
get it.
options.
But wait, are the zombies fast or slow?
Oh, that's a good question.
There is I've been noticed. I did notice that in the whole thing of coño. That's a good question.
Eh,
That's a good
There's
one.
some that are. There's the one with the movie from with bad Brad Pitt. Those things were fucking like gazelles,
yeah,
bro.
bro.
Oh
Because if
yeah,
they're
Or
fast,
legend
I'm
and
dead.
shit.
But if
28
they're
days later. You're
slow,
talking about 28 days later?
No, that was a different show. That was like the vampire one.
Yo, you're talking about
red
World War
eyes.
Z.
World War Z. Bro, did you see
Yeah.
how they were hauling ass?
Yeah, just like 28 days later. Those zombies fucking terrify me.
Those ones, yeah, but those guys look like
I'll be
también.
hiding in an attic, oh yeah, for a long time.
Yeah. Zombies that haul ass terrify me. Zombies in The Walking Dead. I used to watch that show and be like,
I'll be
what the
chopping
fuck?
all day long. I'll be like eating a sandwich at the end of the day because it's just
How do you get eaten
slow.
by something that's moving 2 centimeters per hour? Like, I don't understand that.
It's a reaction. You're scared to kill something that's just
Look, let me tell you something, bro.
dead, but
That's another thing too. These zombie shows, I get it. There's the human element. If you actually kill an actual human being,
Hmm.
I understand feeling remorse. That's somebody's son, somebody's father, somebody's brother, uncle, whatever.
Right,
I understand that. I understand feeling guilt for that.
right.
But in a zombie show, you're gonna shoot a zombie in the head and you're not gonna sleep at night unless you shot a child
yeah, think about that. What if
or your own child
I
because they're
convert?
converted.
Yeah, what happens if I convert into a
That's
zombie?
different.
And I'm like, I'm hungry.
That's different. But in some of these shows, you'd see people be like traumatized.
Brains.
Is that good?
I honestly think
Pass the Midol.
I honestly think that if Diana turned into a zombie, she would still be picky about what the fuck she ate.
Probably. All right,
I'm not
not
eating
you.
any. I'm allergic to shrimp.
I'd be right in front of the chickens, protecting the chickens, offering myself,
Right.
and she'd be like, going over me
Is
to
it-
go get the chickens
Okay.
because she likes chicken. Diana doesn't eat beef. Diana doesn't like to eat steak. Diana doesn't like any of
You
that.
don't eat a piece of steak, kid?
And when I'm forced, if there's nothing.
Ven acá y...
Forced.
So, ¿nunca te has comido una palomilla con arroz
Of
blanco?
course I have,
Oh,
but it's not
okay.
like my go-to. I don't like it.
Oh,
And
so
if
if
my
you have...
mom made it, I have to eat it. Yeah.
Entonces, el Andy tampoco come bistec.
Oh, I know. No,
No,
no
digo,
fuck with
because
me.
she's the one that cooks, right? So no ropa vieja,
Sure, but
no
I
nada
didn't
de
grow up with her.
picadillo.
I wasn't born with her.
No, I know, bro, but
eat
you've been married
steak.
to her since you've been 13 years old. You guys had one of
15,
those
15.
one of
But
those
I
Arab weddings.
but I still had. Yeah, yeah, that's true. We were like Game of Thrones. We were married off to each other.
That's right.
No, we. I grew up eating steak, and everything. Like I grew up eating everything. But with Diana, I discovered that Diana doesn't like bacon.
Oh no,
Coño, D.
no.
Talking about zombies, zombies would love bacon.
Ew. No,
Really?
I don't like
Diana
bacon.
doesn't like bacon, dude.
Coño, man.
I don't. I don't like pork.
Isn't that
either.
some shit?
That's some shit.
That blew my mind because I was like, how's it possible for somebody not to like bacon? I remember I asked her like 20 times afterwards. I was like, are you sure though? Like, are you sure
Right.
you don't like
Look,
bacon?
I
Because
Have
I
you
didn't
grew-
believe
tasted
it.
it? Right. Have you tasted it?
No, I don't like it.
She does not like it.
Bueno.
And it's better for me because I go to IHOP with her
And
and
you get the extra
I get all
bacon.
the extra bacon.
No, but when I cook it here, I.
Y,
I don't.
y las niñas comen, they eat.
They love it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Diana.
I don't like.
Coño.
Diana doesn't like what is another thing you don't like that's pretty kind of revolutionary? Pizza. Diana doesn't like
I don't
pizza.
like.
Get the fuck out of here. You guys had me fooled because at the last
I love pizza.
5 times I was here, you guys had your cousin that was always bringing you guys pizza.
I love
Good,
pizza.
because that's an easy meal. But
I love pizza. I'm
I-
like a child.
Y ese día, entonces,
I
¿qué
like
comes
the
tú?
crust. The crust.
Huh?
Entonces, what, those are the days that she doesn't eat?
No, I eat the crust of the pizza or a salad with
Diana, when we were younger, I would eat the whole pizza and I would leave the crust for Diana. Diana was like my
Yeah, yeah.
Diana was like my pet monkey.
Yeah, like here, bro. Here's the scraps.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been like the weirdest. How did I eat the chicken nuggets from?
The reason why David, her brother, was because now he's lost. I think he weighs less than me now. David's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I want to see a picture of him.
Yeah,
bro.
we got to talk to David on the show one episode in the future. But the reason why David was at one point like 400 fucking pounds, I think it was because Diana at McDonald's
Uh-huh.
would eat
and eat
a little bit of the crust of the
crust,
chicken
and I got it,
nuggets
and then I gave him all the
and
middle
give
part.
David all the meat.
It used to freak me out.
Ah.
With the tacos from Taco Bell.
The tacos from Taco Bell, Diana
Uh-huh.
would eat like the
top.
very top and the ground beef in the bottom that has, all the good
That's
shit.
all, yeah.
She would give that to me, bro. She wouldn't eat it.
Yeah,
That's picky.
that's the way I am.
I would be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I honestly, I went from like enjoying, actually, I went from being concerned to then embracing it.
Right.
Like, I'd order, because I was a fat fuck, so I still am. So I'd order something for me, and then I look over at her and be like, I don't have the rest of yours, so don't worry about it.
Correct, right. Déjame lo que tú no quieres.
Exactly. Anyways,
So going back to the zombies.
going back to the zombies.
I will survive.
She would not survive. I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
To me, Diana would be the first. Diana would not be the first to go. Our kids would certainly be the first to go. But I think,
Ah.
I
Are you
would.
kidding? You got them in jiu-jitsu. They should be headlocking
I know.
those MFers.
Arrancas una cabeza, bro.
Un bracito, le sacas el brazo.
Yeah, no,
No, huh?
the kids, and then
And
I
she
don't
doesn't
know.
like guns either, right? You're not a gun. You're not into guns. Oh yeah, well that's a look.
Listen, if you give me a gun, I'll shoot it.
Yeah, no, but I
I'm not that bad.
actually now
No, 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 I
the
don't
more
know.
I think about it now, actually no, I'm
I
going
think
back and
I'll
I'm changing my
survive.
answer. I think Diana would outlive me because I would be the one to like be protecting and being all fucking super like getting out there, making sure everything's okay, and I would get bitten.
You would get
Something would
bitten.
happen. Yeah, yes, I think Diana's right. I think Diana would outlive me as much as I think I would
am
outlive her.
strategic, and I'll be like, and I know that he'll be like the one that. But and if we die, it's because of our kids.
That's always the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You always go
Kids.
back into the burning house for the kids.
the kids are gonna get you killed during the zombie outbreak, man. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
Yeah.
All right. So so that was a good one. Is
Yeah,
there
that was
anything
a
else?
good-
Is there anything else you want to say about zombies before we move on to the next question?
No.
Did you used to watch The Walking Dead?
All the fucking time, dude. I thought it was kind of cool. It was entertaining.
Did it
When-
finish yet?
When I don't know, but I think this will answer your question. That this is why I don't know. When I found out that the main cowboy guy, whatever the fuck his name was,
Uh-huh.
Rick,
Uh-huh.
when I found out that he was like leaving,
He was
I got
yeah.
turned off by it.
I
I didn't
stopped
care.
watching when Glenn died. He was my favorite one.
Oh, then you will stopped watching a long time
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Well, Glenn, I was like, you know what? That's when they started meeting the crazy guy with the bat with the nails. That he
What's his
had the
name?
leather
Neo or
jacket.
something?
I stopped watching.
Negan.
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 That's when I wanted to watch more.
Oh yeah, that's actually when the show started getting pretty
Better.
fucking good.
Coño, then I have to go back and watch that shit. And then I remember what's the name of the black girl with the samurai sword that started banging the cowboy?
Simone.
Simone.
Yeah, with her fake ass wig.
And the kid that he was always le sacaron el ojo.
Carl.
Cole,
Carl. Carl.
Listen, I was a Shane fan when they killed Shane.
I
I
got
was pissed.
me
which one
too.
was Shane?
The friend,
Shit.
the one that was banging his wife. Remember he
Oh
showed up.
yes.
I love the guy who played the Punisher. Did you watch the
Okay,
Punisher?
yes, I watched it.
I
the
love
other
that
day.
motherfucker.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
has that weird, like crazy. I don't know if it's
Dude. Yeah.
yeah, no, but you're thinking of his body now.
No.
I know what that dude, that dude. She's thinking abs. She's thinking of his chest. She's like, oh, you could just
Shut
let him
up.
recite the alphabet in front of me. I don't care.
Uh,
Yeah.
I was sad when he left.
I bet you were.
Listen, once again, God forbid I chime in on some of my 2 cents when it comes to
God forbid nothing.
women and stuff and whatever. And
So how about the
Hollywood.
Colombia team?
Hey, all right, so I'm gonna move on to my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is, what does your partner say about you leaving the toilet seat up? Now,
Oh boy.
the reason why this question works is because my partner is on this show, and I think that makes it extra interesting. And I also have
Let him have it.
I also have 3 girls, which also makes it interesting as well. But what does your partner say about you leaving the toilet seat up? Now, it's obvious. Your partner's going to fucking complain. Um,
Well, if it's a girl, because your partner can be a boy and they don't give a shit.
that's true.
Good
But I
Yeah.
feel, but I feel like a lot of dudes that are with other dudes pee sitting down.
No. Maybe.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
And then there's that.
I
I
don't know.
think
Maybe
so.
David should call.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ray's watching, who's Ray's a
I-
fan of
I
our
had-
show, let us know, Ray, what you think.
I had Amy had her grandfather used to always fight with the grandmother about him. She didn't want him to leave the toilet seat up and would force the old man to pee sitting down, dude,
Because it's disgusting.
all the time. And I would get when I would get drunk, cause I was like, oye, Madiel, como que tú vas a dejar a esta señora que te haga orinar sentado, brother. Tú eres hombre, tú sácate la cosa y dale. You know,
You guys are disgusting. But think
no,
about
what's
it.
disgusting is not whipping it out. What's disgusting is maybe you girls having to sit on sprinkles.
But that's why sit your ass down.
I'm gonna tell you from
No,
a
man,
dude's.
that's so
I'm gonna tell you from a dude's perspective what's disgusting. But finish what you were gonna say.
Well, no, but there is like a huge, study that says that these damn freaking piss splatters everywhere when you flush the
It's a
toilet
study.
there is or like a not a study but like
Harvard
thing.
studied his
Totally a
pissed
study,
off Hispanic
yeah.
bitches.
Listen, it's disgusting. And it look okay,
Look, man.
you clean the toilets and you clean around the walls and you will see piss
Yeah,
especially in boys, like a boy, like if you have kids, boy kids, girl
boy, kids.
boys that sit up piss, their little piss splatters all over. And look, listen, I know that you guys have morning wood
Hold on,
and
hold
you
on.
splatter all over the place too.
Go ahead. Continue your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, don't do that to me.
So how is it? Explain it how
Yes,
how
yes.
it
Tell me how the
is.
morning wood works.
Wait, you go all over the place.
Please demonstrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what's gross for me? Having to sit on the toilet and have my dick touch the fucking water.
Because it's so.
That's
Let me
gross.
tell you, maybe your balls.
That's gross. Fuck my balls. Listen.
She's like your Johnson, no, but your balls were shown. So now I have this
Listen,
picture in
my
head.
balls are not that fucking old, if you get what I mean. They don't drip that
You
much.
don't have to be old, bro, to have saggy balls, bro. You
I
could be
know.
like
You don't have a 20-year-old with saggy balls. They usually are I mean, when I was
don't know,
20,
I
my
don't
balls
know.
were nice and
I
tight.
know, but you're just comparing. How many balls have you seen?
Dale, well, sácatela ahí, bro, to see what the fuck. No, I would imagine. I mean, it's a known thing that old men have saggy balls.
Thank God I don't suffer from that. I think it's because I've
Really?
always
Gravity.
I'm glad I've always wore those
Underwears.
no no the
Tidy whities.
no not no the bikini ones, the ones that are fucking always keep it all in one bunch.
No way. You wear
Always.
like speedos and shit.
Kind of almost like speedos.
Holy fuck, that's weird.
I've never been able to wear boxers así so because
I'm sorry. I'm like,
no, because what happens is that those boxers, when you start sweating, like we talked about last time, se te pegan los huevos to your leg, bro. Es una asquerosidad, bro.
That's true.
I see. There, I got the banana hammock chilling. Y ahí, y ahí no tengo problema, bro.
Yo.
But I don't know how we got to this conversation. We were talking about
Talking about toilets.
toilet seats.
I mean, it's a perfect comment. It makes perfect sense. I mean, it makes more sense
so
talking about
basically
that
his
than.
balls don't hit the toilet. The
I don't, I
water.
don't, I don't, I don't, I don't, I
So
don't.
you have like a thong in the back?
You want to see it?
No.
Oh my God. So how did you wipe your ass last time with a thong?
No, no, because I use socks.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right, because he had thongs. Now it makes sense. Now
Yeah,
it all
socks, bro.
I
lines
have a
up.
mental picture
What
of a
I say-
cherry at the very top
Ew!
of Abel's butthole, a crack, and he's moving it to the side and wiping it with a sock.
With a sock.
God, that's so gross.
Abel.
I can even see the tan color of his ass in my face.
Now
in
you
my,
need
in
to
my,
take a
in my-
picture.
in my face.
It's your face. Ew, you smell it? Do you
Mental-
smell it? Gross.
In my-
Amy. Oh my God. I'm
When
just
is
like,
Amy
she
gonna
needs
call and save us?
She's going to have to take a picture of that and send it.
Says, take a look at this, guys.
She's gonna be like, thongs are antiquated.
She used to get pissed at me, dude.
For
Pissed.
wearing her thongs, I would
No,
too.
no, about the no, leave me the fucking toilet seat up, dude. We would go out partying, bro, and I would, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would hear her screaming, "What the?" And I'm like, "Coño, qué está pasando?" Y go, "Tú no ves que me he caído yo? I've fallen into the toilet."
Yes, it happened.
No way. She would scream at you about the toilet seat?
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
I
not
learned. It took me a long time, but I learned.
Did you
Aw.
learn?
I
Did
learned.
you
I got
learn?
I got domesticated, as they say.
Did you learn once you had your daughter? Is that when you learned, or no?
That's a good question. I don't know. That was along the way. I just didn't want to hear the bitching, bro. I was like, let's go ahead and fucking
Yeah.
close that shit down.
You compromise.
Yeah.
I sit a lot in the toilet because of this one. Like I'll get up in the middle of the night at 3, 4 in the morning to take a piss. Luckily, only once. My urologist would be concerned if it was 3 or 4 times a
Yeah,
night.
you would have a prostate problem.
But once to take a piss, if that, and it's usually because I drink a lot of water before going to sleep, um, and I have to sit down to take a piss. I don't stand up and
Well, our girls have fallen in the toilet because they are half asleep in the nighttime or
Yeah.
whatever, and they don't realize, and they just go bloop inside, and they're like, "Yeah." Remember when Madison?
so what happens in this house is I sit down on the toilet to pee in the nighttime,
Mhm.
and it's like reverse fucked upness because my daughters and others make a huge mess on the toilet seat when they clean themselves with the water because everybody in this house is very
so that
very
you know,
clean.
not many people do
And
that.
there is a lot of water all over the toilet seat. So when I sit down, my entire back of my thighs is full of water.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's like my wife. She has. Ella tiene, if we have a house que no tiene un bidet or un little hose,
A little cup with
you
water,
got to use a
man.
cup of water. Yeah, I don't know if that's
But
only
that's a
a Latina.
Cuban thing. That's a Hispanic.
The
thing.
Taco Bell cup is in
That
every,
shit. Yeah, or the Flanagan's cup.
or the Flanagan's cup
Yep. Taco
is
Bell.
in every Cuban house, in particular, or maybe Hispanic home. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I know. Actually, that's a good question to ask people. But yeah,
do you wash your pussy?
Right,
Do you
but
wash
maybe we
it?
could. Yeah, but maybe we could reframe that.
but that is the truth. It's not everybody.
No.
Has a little cup.
So I
Wash
heard
yourself.
from a couple friends of ours in Miami. Well, I'm not even. Never mind. I'm not even.
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
bring
Don't
that
even
up.
don't name the names.
No,
No,
Let's
no, no,
say.
no. Said that there's certain group that he says that he dated of his own that those girls will wash it once in the morning if you're lucky.
White bitches.
Dude, ew. I don't know.
So the story goes.
I can't do it. I have.
I
it-
cannot
I
confirm or
use.
deny.
I wash. I don't.
Yeah. I've seen enough.
I mean, no, you don't even like the stench of fucking fish, so I know that's why you're like
Fuck that.
lava.
I've seen enough TV shows where white women in particular, because that's the predominant actress in a TV show, takes a piss, it just gets up and leaves. And Diana's like, "The fuck, bro? How did she not wash herself?"
Yeah, yeah,
And that, just at least
yeah. No,
rinse
you're right.
yourself, man. Rinse that
Poquito,
shit off.
un poquito, sí. Échale agua, para que
God
échale,
damn.
échale agua un poquito, para que respire.
Oh boy.
That was another thing back in the 70s. I remember my uncle saying, dude, what is the story with all these girls always going to the bathroom all the time?
Well, we have to piss,
Like
man.
all the like you're at a club, you're gonna go to pick up a date, and then it's like, you're about 6 P's in, and you're
But
probably
most women also sometimes they don't even go for to pee. They just go to touch up their makeup. They feel self conscious about themselves.
moral support, talking shit about the dude with the bad breath. Y la
Yeah,
mierda. I'm
pretty
not I'm
much.
not gonna go dance with that guy. You see his gut.
You see, come mierda
Ese
ese.
tipo es un mierda.
Let's see how many drinks we can get out of him.
Oh yeah, then there's that.
Clubs in Miami were a fucking thing. I was never a big club guy. We've gone from toilet seats to clubs, and once again, that's the good thing about the fun
Welcome,
thing about the Cuban Dudes show.
welcome to the show, guys.
Uh, um, I was never a big clubber.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't, and it was mainly because of this one.
She didn't like clubs.
She used to completely.
What?
She used to. I used to like clubs too, but we used to go together, and she was more interested in hanging out with other people than hanging out with me.
Oh,
And it was like the fuck, bro.
Dude, I'm always with him, so I'm like, am
So we're here. So
I?
wait a minute. Tell me something, Abel. Did you have experiences with Amy where you would go to a club and she would completely
They
fucking
weren't
leave you in the
dating.
dust?
They weren't dating. They were all friends.
In those days, when in the beginning,
We were dating.
We were exactly.
no, so well, so yes, so
Exactly.
no, hold on a second. Let's go back. So when I started dating Amy, that's one of the things that Amy and I did. We weren't starting to date them, but we would go out with all our friends, and they were all. I think we spoke about that, and hang out, and we were always the ones that ended up together. So through that, then we were like, oh, you think you're hot, and she's like, oh, you think you're hot, and then we were because Amy and I didn't like each other. This whole thing that
Interesting.
like we did not like each other. She thought that she was hot shit. She says that I thought I was hot shit.
I can see that.
I was like, okay, mira. I go. So then when we would sit together, we were like, bro, what are we gonna do? I go, bueno, let's do something. Let's see if si tú de verdad crees que tú eres tan buena. And she says, okay, let's do something. Let's go ahead and at the end of the night, let's see how many phone numbers you get. And that we would do that, and then we would get to the club, take off about an hour or two. We would meet back at the bar, and then we would start counting numbers because back in the day, still we would get little pieces of paper with a pencil or a pen, and then we would count like that. And at the end of the night, we would recount. We would do that. Then when we did start dating, we would do that because we had so many friends, and from different parts, and some that knew each other. Pero she would work the room her way, and I would work my room on the other side. And then at one time, in the middle of the party, we would meet up, and then we'd be like, "Oh, so you're dating this one?" Oh, yeah. Oh, now I understand. You guys got the same personality, and you guys are very outgoing. So that did happen. Yeah, when you get kids and you get a little older, entonces you're like, okay, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, I mean,
who you dancing
I got
with?
to a point that I didn't give a fuck anymore, and I would just go to clubs and have a good time myself. In reality, what I
It's
would
a flaw.
do, no, it's not mine. What I would do is I would, I think I've mentioned this to you before, Abel, but I would take off my glasses and go to clubs and get fucking smashed
I think you did tell me something like that.
because I felt like if I couldn't see people, they couldn't see me.
One of those.
I was like those little kids in 5th grade that would wear sunglasses and be like, "I'm invisible."
That's what.
Yeah. But anyways, all right. So let's get back to the question. So, what does your partner think about leaving the toilet seat? I try to accommodate. I try to sit down.
Mhm.
She knows this, and she cannot say on this fucking show that this is not true. I
It's
try to
true.
accommodate to sit down in the
Yeah.
toilet seat, and I think I've been better than ever in cleaning it and make sure that it's good in case there are any mistakes. In case I'm trying to pee,
Good
unless I'm
boy.
trying to pee straight ahead, and for some reason it ends up in fucking Coconut Grove.
My son used to have that issue, bro. He was like, "Papi, I gotta pee." I go, "Coño, I'm in the car, mijo." "No, papi, but I gotta pee." We would just open up that van door like that. He would sit on the edge, bro. Y esa cosa hacía, woo! It was like
Yeah.
half a block, dude.
No, pobrecito.
Yeah.
No,
Have you ever had those weird 45-degree angles that you're like pissing straight ahead, but for some reason,
Oh my God. But girls go through that same shit when when you're going to go to a public bathroom, nobody's going to sit on the toilet.
Right, you guys hover.
So however, and sometimes you're like peeing, good stream going down, but sometimes it goes and you piss all over your pants.
that's the other
Eso es
thing.
tremenda mierda.
That's the other thing I was going to tell you. You know what's
Yeah.
happened to me?
She needs the Wizinator.
You know what's happened to me?
It's like a little thing that you put and it goes whoop, like a little.
So I either suffer from it hitting the toilet seat, or most usual, because I'm not that fucking huge, most usual, I'm peeing, and for some reason,
Do you attest?
I'll admit it, I don't give a fuck. Or most usual, where I'm trying peeing and it starts to shoot in such a way where it starts to kind of go underneath the toilet seat and it starts to come out.
Oh no shit!
Oh my god.
Yes, that's equally bad. That's equally bad.
No, but I'm not
When
gonna
you're
fall
sitting down.
in the toilet.
Sitting down.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, but it's also the whole up thing is because we fall in the toilet if we're not noticing. Comiendo mierda, little
Okay,
kids.
okay. So here's a critical question. What do you prefer? Do you prefer seeing a little bit of sprinkle in the toilet that you can clean off with a piece of paper and be like, done with it, take a piss, right? Or do you prefer having hidden smells that you don't know where they're coming from? Because when that
Oh
shit
no, I know where
goes
they're coming from.
underneath, when that shit goes underneath like that, you have no idea where that's coming from, and you're going crazy. You're like, "This fucking bathroom stinks. I don't get why." And I'm like, and we're looking around, and we're like, "Well, I don't even know. I
Well,
don't
now you
understand."
gave yourself up.
No,
Now I know where it is, and I know who
And
that
did
who
doesn't
it.
always
did it?
happen. That doesn't always happen. But I've thought about that when it's happened. I'm like, oh shit. If I don't clean this, that could be.
I'll tell you what I prefer.
What do you prefer?
I prefer
To piss like
lifting.
a man.
Yeah, and then I'll put the seat back down.
Que hijo de puta.
That way, I don't feel like I'm losing.
Oh, okay. So you're putting it back down.
I am.
Okay.
I am. Yes. No, I don't let her sit in the toilet seat. Are you kidding me? I mean, in the pissy toilet seat.
Yeah.
I do my thing standing up.
Just
That
lift
way
it
I
and put
can.
it back down, babe. That's it.
Listen, bro. I've actually cleaned when I lift up. I clean the toilet after if it sprinkles outside. I don't leave that as like a barren wasteland that only Andy's crusted piss is going to be on. That I'm going to put back down so you could sit on afterwards to go pee. I actually clean the bottom when it's lifted up before putting it down. I even go do that whenever that's happened. Now, when I was younger, did I used to do that? No, because I was 18, 19 years old and I didn't give a fuck. But as a 40-year-old man,
But you at 18, you were still living with your mom, right?
of course,
So your la vieja will have to clean that mess.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so this is the time in the show that if we would have had a guest, we would have taken what's called, which by the way, I'm thinking
What?
rather than calling it a guest break, we need to call it a cafecito break.
Coño, I like that.
And
Ya,
we
yo me
need to-
tomé mío, guys, pero mira,
yeah,
I
guys.
still have a
Di-
little bit.
Di hizo tremendo café, mi gente, que de verdad, mira.
And in case you guys think we're like lying, that we're just
No, 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 no. This is the real deal.
thing.
Mira, yo también terminé el mío.
Yeah.
Estaba exquisito. Delicious,
Yes.
guys.
It was
It's
amazing.
a good time for you guys to go grab some Cuban coffee because esto sigue.
Yes, and this is the reason why I think I'm kind of awake now because I was half asleep before this show started. I'm not gonna
Yes, yes.
lie. So this is the time where we'd have a break. We'd show the guest clip or something, but we don't have a guest, so we're going to move it on. Anything else you guys want to say about toilet seats before we move on?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, guys.
I don't like toilets.
I do. It's one of the greatest inventions in the fucking.
You do all your thinking there.
Was that the 20th century or the 21st? The 20th century, the 21st.
I don't know.
The 20th century, or was it the 19th century when the toilet was invented?
What is it in the in? Well, I thought Romans had been
There used to
shitting.
be little holes.
No, but not
community,
toilets.
community.
Excuse
They
me.
used to shit in
Because
those
there,
Excuse me.
holes.
Excuse
because
me.
there's
Excuse me.
right. There's
Excuse me.
indoor
Excuse me.
plumbing, and that's different.
I don't mean toilet. I mean plumbing. That's really what I mean.
Right.
A lot of English people died of fucking weird diseases because there was no plumbing, which goes to
Eso pues no la va a hacer boy.
boil, even that kitty litter smelling pussy, like all dirty and shit.
Weird diseases and shit.
Listen, listen.
You guys are disgusting.
Hey, it's the truth. ¿Qué te iba a decir yo? Coño, I was gonna say something. I lost.
Ya le está pensando en el bollo. Después de las 12 pesos, tipo se dice,
Oil,
coño,
that's it. That's all he knows.
I lost my train of thought. Anyways, all right, guys. Next question. Here we go. What is the scariest movie you've ever seen, and how did it affect you?
Oh.
Now,
Mm.
this could be as an adult. This could be as a child. This could be at any age. It doesn't really matter.
Thank God.
What was a movie that you saw that traumatized the shit out of you for a period in time? I'm gonna give Abel the first go at this one. What was a movie that you saw?
I had two. The first one was the original Exorcist.
Oh, that would traumatize the fuck out of anyone.
That shit, I couldn't sleep for a fucking year. Like no bullshit, dude.
A year?
A fucking year was the worst. I mean, that kind where I was waking up in the middle of the night screaming, dude.
No.
Like that, like freaked the fuck out. I had to go sleep in my mom's bed and shit, freaked out. The second one was Jaws. I couldn't go to the beach. I didn't want to go to the beach ever.
Jaws.
I would sit in like in La Orillita right there in the little shore and just look and look and look and waiting for the fucking thing to pop out of the water. That freaked me out.
Wow.
That thing freaked me out as a kid.
That's fascinating. You know, it never really affected me, but I could see it affecting kids. And once again, and I think something's being said from I'm about what 10, 15 years younger than you, maybe,
Give or take.
give or take, more take than give, right? So that's hooking you up. I'm not, if you really think about it. And I think that by the time I saw the movie, though, as a kid, I still think I probably would have thought that shit was real. But I think I was already kind of in that mentality of a kids today. Kids today watch movies from the 80s and 90s, and we're like, wait until you see this. It's gonna scare the shit out of you. And they watch it and they're like,
Eh.
eh.
Desensitized with
Yeah,
it.
and I think maybe we were starting to get some desensitized, but I could imagine growing up. I mean, I was born in '83, but growing up in the '80s, being in my early, preteen or whatever the case is, and seeing that movie and it's scaring the shit out of
Yeah,
me.
bro. And then
I could imagine.
yeah, and in the 70s there was a lot of good scary movies like The Omen and It's Alive, and I mean like movies that were freaking you out.
I think we spoke about this with Jordan when
Did
she
we?
was on with us. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't caught that episode, you definitely need to catch it. Jordan Rumsey, this chick lives in the '80s, and it's fascinating. But she's in 2024 and she's only 20 years old, which is even equally fascinating because if she was like a 60-year-old broad, I'd understand. But movies in the 80s felt a lot creepier than they feel nowadays.
They still do, man.
Even
No.
even the Jason ones, like the mist of the that opening shot, the mist of the lake.
It's the anticipation in the music. You know?
No. I mean, yes, fine, I give you that. But it's just there's a touch. It toque at the end of the day. There's a touch
That eerie
about
feeling.
80s movies. You're watching in these vacuum tube televisions. It's kind of grainy, kind of just in
Grainy.
general.
Oh yeah, but the ring.
The wait, hold on, we'll get to that. The quality of the video is just shitty.
Amityville Horror. Ese también era uno que I'm like,
The one with Ryan Reynolds?
Which one?
well, he did one, but the original one from the 70s because that was actual house.
I was
of
gonna
the
say you were
horror.
already a man by then.
When that one came out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original one, yo estaba cagado. Possession?
Especially because they make it seem like
Possession?
that's like based on like a real thing. So when you're watching, you're
Right.
like, the
My
fuck?
father was like, I was.
Oh, which one's that one?
Amityville Horror. Do you remember we watched? I think we watched the Ryan Reynolds version, which is the one where the dad goes crazy in this house and kills the whole fucking family and
Oh.
whatever. And yeah, there's that famous scene where the girl grabs the finger of the dad and sticks it in her forehead because that's where he shot her in the head and all this kind of shit. It's
Yeah.
really creepy. So yes, I could imagine as a kid, especially during that time period. But they're definitely I remember, even though I was born in the 80s, I wasn't raised so much in the 80s. I was raised more in the 90s. But I still remember during the early 90s that feel. It was a palpable feel of like a movie being fucking terrifying. Now, I was also a child, so there was also that, right?
Mhm.
But I think of movies today and I look at them from the spectrum of like being a kid, and I'm like, this doesn't like it doesn't do it the same. There was something different about movies in the 70s and the
Mhm.
80s, even in the early 90s, that just felt raw. Like it felt raw.
Right.
The Poltergeist.
That was another good one.
The
I was a little older already.
Yeah,
I was like
that's-
80s, so I was maybe 10.
The Poltergeist scared the
12.
fucking shit out of me.
Yeah,
Man.
that
That
old
was a-
man. My God, that
That
old
old man. That old man. The old man.
The old lady.
The old lady didn't creep me out. It was the old man. The kid ending up in the television, like that whole concept. You know how many times I used to turn on when I was a kid the TV, and the first thing I would see was a grainy channel.
They're
I
here.
would jump out of my
Yeah,
bed
yeah.
and go turn that shit off so fast
They're here.
because I thought I'd end up in the TV or something. You know what I mean?
And then everybody started dying.
Well, but I came to learn about that as an adult. I didn't know about that as a kid.
Yeah, she
Like
taught
all that
me.
shit that was going on
Thank
with
God I didn't know about that shit as a kid. I would have been
I
even
did.
more
Bro,
traumatized.
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one that died was the daughter.
The girl, yeah, she had some
Gastric
intestinal
shit,
shit.
No, that was
Oh, she got murdered by her boyfriend.
the older daughter of the family. That was the first one. That,
And they
out.
said the movie was cursed and shit and whatever and all this bullshit.
Yeah,
Um,
even the old man was dying when he did that. That was the last film he did
that guy
before he
looked dead
died.
as fuck. Yeah, that guy looked dead as
He
fuck.
had cancer.
Ay.
Yes, el tipo se
Dude,
murió.
he was skin and bones,
The
man.
Indian passed away too. They said that you remember one of the scenes when she falls into the pool and all those the skeletons were coming out. They
Yeah.
ended up being real. Not that they were dug in there, but they somebody had picked them up
Real
from
skeletons.
real
Oh yeah, I heard
skeletons.
that.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and things were happening. Fires happened in the studio when they were filming that.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Like a lot of weird things started happening that they had to go and sage the shit out of the studio and everything.
So when I was a kid, when I was about 8 years old, you were already probably 26. When I was 8 years old, this was what, like 1991
Yeah,
ish.
91. If it was 91, I was 21.
Yeah, I was 8 years old. My mom had rented Child's Play 2.
Child's play.
And I had never seen the original. I had never seen it. I think I had seen bits of it. I mean, imagine I was a little kid. My parents didn't let me watch that shit. But my mom had rented it. She was coming home from Blockbuster, and she had like 3 or 4 movies. And
Mhm.
one of them was Child's Play. And I was like one of these kids. I was like my kids where like they think that shit's cool. They just want to watch. That's no big deal. And I'm gonna watch it in the daytime. I'm watching it at like 3 in the afternoon, whatever. I watched the whole movie. I had no fucking problems. Like, people are scared of this shit. Kids. Kids are scared of this shit. Oh, Chucky. Oh, this is bullshit. Whatever. When the nighttime came,
Ahí es donde se te aflojaron los.
holy fucking shit. Did I regret ever watching that movie? Especially because
Se te salieron los mojones.
especially because the main kid's name was what?
Andy.
Andy.
Oh shit! Andy, did he get possessed?
I
Was
Nobody,
Andy
but
possessed?
the Andy was the sole life of this doll. I mean, he was after Andy the whole time. And imagine like my name is like Andy. I'm not Andrew. I'm not Andres. I'm Andy. So I'm sitting there and I'm like just terrified, dude, that this shit for some reason is going to come after me. I'll never forget a vivid, I guess it was a lucid dream where I woke up in the middle of the night and like the fan blades in your room are like spinning and
Right.
shit. I looked up and I saw like the equivalent of like skulls with like the vertebra hanging behind on each blade spinning out.
Really?
Yeah.
I ran to my parents' room and dove like if I was diving into home plate
Right. Right.
in between both of them, and I
Right.
fucking slept there. And I slept there for an entire week. I did not want to be in my
I,
room.
I believe it.
I was terrified, man.
I mean, I also had an issue where my houses, for some reason or another, seemed like they were all haunted, dude. Until we figured out, I think is that we have something. Not now that I'm older and I've been seeing all these other ghost stuff that I didn't know that ghosts get attached to certain things, like to an old piece of furniture, to an old heirloom.
Sometimes they could get attached to you physically, and you could bring it to the
And
fucking place.
right. So then I was, bro, most of the houses that I had in the beginning, they were all fine the first 2 weeks, the first 3 weeks. And then almost like clockwork on the third or fourth week, you would hear people talking in the
Brother,
kitchen.
in
You would
my
hear
old house, in my old house where we lived in Miami, to this day, there's something that happened that I cannot explain. And
your
I
parents still live there?
no, I'm talking about
Oh.
we this is the home that we owned before we sold and moved out.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
we lived in an area called Princeton, which is right off of Gould's and between Gould's and Cutler Bay.
Hmm.
It's a rezoning. I guess they didn't want to call it Gould, so they called it Princeton because it wasn't a black neighborhood. So, but anyways, neither here nor there. The point is that we lived in this house. My house had a very long, kind of dark hallway. If you were a
Mhm.
little kid, you'd be terrified of our hallway. But
Mhm.
I'm a man. I don't give a fuck. I turn on the light. I go do whatever I need to do. Whatever. I never felt anything in my house. Really. I mean, we had like little weird events. So we were like, did you feel that? Did this something? But never really anything questionable.
Hmm.
This one day in particular, I'm taking a shit.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Where else would
And
you
in
be
my
doing?
room, of course.
I'm
And in my
telling.
room, I have the
Telling.
door locked. I have the door locked from the outside, and I have the door locked for the bathroom. The way I love to take a crap.
Right,
Fort Knox. The more doors you can put between me and the outside world, the better.
right.
I'm taking a crap, dude, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out of nowhere, I hear boom, 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 knocking on the door. And I go, yo, bro. Like my instinct was to go, I was like on my phone. I was just eating shit. And I go, yo, bro, what the fuck, man? I was like that. Like I literally reacted like I thought it was the kids. It was annoying. It triggered an annoyance
He
reaction.
got scared. Boy,
No, I did not get scared. I got annoyed. I was really, I would admit, I admit everything in the show. I wasn't scared. I was annoyed. And I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Whatever. So I go and I get up, and because of that, I get up and I go towards the door, quick, to make sure I catch whoever was the asshole that knocked on the door that way.
Mhm.
When I opened the door and I looked, dude, there was nobody there. I come out of the room, I open the door, and I stick my head out because I'm buck ass naked. I stick my head out and I go, guys, come on, dude. Like, why you guys got to do that?
I remember.
Diana was cooking, the girls were watching something on TV, and everybody's like, what? It's like, you guys, come on. One of you came in here, knocked on the door. Nobody, dude.
Me espantaron el mojón.
Nobody. I think by then I had already dropped it. I was just comiendo mierda on the thing. Like, nobody came out. I was like, I remember telling Diana, I asked her like 20 times. I was like, dude, please tell me the
It wasn't
truth.
me.
Because you know what? To this day, I'm like, that is one of the weirdest things ever.
Yeah, dude. I
Yeah, that house I felt shit
Yeah.
too. I felt people touching me, like
Ooh.
while I'm cooking. I felt something like touch me, and I'm like, what the?
Oh.
And I'm looking around. The kids are nowhere to be found.
You see,
Baby,
that
you
scares the shit
tell
out of
me, tell me what was your experience with a movie, and be as detailed as possible.
Well, I have two movies that I was more or less. Well, I growing up, I had have you ever had that toy my buddy,
Yeah, my
my
buddy,
buddy,
my buddy and me.
me. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I saw Child's Play. That's Child's Play, right? With the
Uh-huh.
one with
I
Chucky.
had never seen it. Oh,
Chucky,
Child's Play.
Chucky, yeah,
Okay, is that
Chucky,
Chucky? Yeah.
Chucky.
Mhm.
And well, I'm here everywhere with my little damn toy. My buddy, my buddy. I saw that movie. My buddy became my enemy. I had
Really?
yeah, no, I was terrified because the little guy had his eyes open and he used to stare at me and I used to sleep with it. But then that thing, I was like, this shit's gonna turn.
I would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, so I grabbed him and I used to put him in the closet.
Uh huh.
But then one day that shit fell and I was like, fuck this.
Lo botaste pa'l
Oh,
carajo.
boté pa'l carajo. But it was
I-
so it was such a terrifying.
So you know what happened to us one day? I had bought my son a it was like a fire engine kind of thing
Mm.
where every time he would roll it, it would spin wee 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 wee, and no, I don't think it works.
Oh,
And it was like about 2 in the morning. We were all sleeping, like in my room,
mm. Now you have the
and no, and guess what? Out of nowhere, the thing starts playing.
no.
But I mean, but what scared us even more is that we had already started seeing things happen in the house. So there was one day that we got there, it was late. Amy and I, we get the kids, we go downstairs, we turn on the lights, and again the first floor of the house there in Kendall, we get it, whatever the kids
No.
wanted. Yeah, we go upstairs because it was a two-story thing, and then Amy and I are on the catwalk talking about the day and all of that, dude. And all of a sudden, the lights in the kitchen turn on by themselves, bro.
Nope.
Yeah.
I would have
Pero
left.
eso era para cagarse, mi gente. I was like, did you see that?
Yeah, no.
Did you see
I would have
that?
left.
Things like that, the weirdest things that were happening to us in the house, man.
It was talking
And then,
about
well, every house, like I told you, every house that we had, there was something that was happening in that thing.
yeah.
The knocks, I heard knocks. I heard people talking in the rooms. A lot of plates shifting. Like when you wash the dishes and you put them so they can dry,
Right.
moving. Things. It got so bad in one of the houses that we would be talking like this about ghosts, and we would hear en la sala y se cae un cuadro.
No.
¡Cra! When we're talking about spirits and all that shit. Yeah, it got bad.
Hmm.
It got really bad.
Oye, tú
So,
pica para
no, eso para cagarse. Eso para cagarse.
allá.
No,
Bad experience.
I mean, but at every home that you were in.
Almost. Almost.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's great.
Oh!
Jerk.
Bro, shit, her face is just freaking out.
For 2 seconds.
Bro.
2 seconds.
Bro.
No, baby, I
What
was.
about as an adult though? Did you ever watch a movie as an adult that fucking traumatized you for a little bit?
What was that movie that I saw that had me?
Hereditary,
Which one was that one?
the one where the girl's head gets ripped off when she's sticking her head out the window. That they're in a cult. The family's in a cult.
No, it was the other one with
That
the
movie's
nuns.
fucked
The
up.
nun.
Yeah, which was another one, The
The Nun.
Shining.
Oh, The Shining. Yeah,
The
that's
Shining.
a classic.
Oh, The Shining now,
Jack
but
Nicholson, yeah,
no, that one with the nun. Man, that
The
had
Nun.
me for a while.
Oh, The Conjuring.
Conjuring.
I stopped watching all that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Holy
you
I
crap!
love
can.
I love horror
No,
movies.
I don't watch any of
That
that
was
anymore.
I
scary.
like, but I like popcorn horror movies. I don't like fucking horror movies that are like just like they're raping
Messing me up.
children and shit. Like,
No,
dude,
yeah,
like that to me is like that's just like you're purposely trying to fucking piss people off. Like
yeah.
I love horror. I like people getting slashed to death. I love all that shit.
Well, my
But
number
when it's
one was the Hellraiser.
Oh, that was another one back in the
Diana
days.
used to be
No,
terrified of
I still am
Hellraiser.
a little bit. I can't see anything with big black eyes and white like that.
Uh-huh.
Ay, Dios
Yeah,
mío,
that
I
looks
can't
very
stand. And then
demonic.
the needles and
And other stuff
oh
in
my
that
god,
dude's
no.
head. Yeah.
So I remember when we were young, we were in our 20s. We watched I think we were literally 20 years old, 21 years old. We watched The Ring. You remember the movie The Ring?
I remember the name. I don't
Where the
remember.
girl
Oh, the one that comes out of the TV or some
yeah.
shit with the long hair. You can't see your face.
Brother, we watched
Yeah.
that movie in the movie theater when that shit premiered. And remember, you got to remember during that time period, I don't think we've ever seen a special effect like that look so real. I mean, that girl looked like she came out
Came
of
out
the
of damn.
fucking television.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
I will never forget being a 20-year-old. I'm a man in quotes, but I'm still a kid. But like looking at that shit and like my teeth started like chattering a little bit because I was like, what
Oh
the
shit! Oh
fuck am I
shit!
looking at?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looked so real, you know, that my mind was like, I knew I was watching a movie, but like it was like, whoa, it triggered something in me. You know, that movie obviously is, I think that movie in itself is a classic in its own right because of that. But damn, that shit was something.
Anything with little kids that look like that
Yeah.
freak me out.
Yeah. We were still living in a world where special effects were really kind of coming into their own right visually, and we were at the cusp of that thing. And these movies all of a sudden became very advanced, and they were just putting the
Mhm.
shit in your face, and you were like, "Whoa, holy shit, that looked real."
You know, now that I'm talking to you guys, I remember I had a house where I was woken up several. I would get woken up several times, like getting like my toes pulled and my feet yanked up.
Oh wow.
There was one time I remember that I was sleeping, dude, and I heard something talk to me in a weird language in my ear,
No.
You know,
and I was like, "What the fuck did I just hear, dude?"
so I think I know what that is. I could be wrong, but I think I know what that is. That's happened to me before. Not that specifically, but I have heard in the middle of the night, "Babe, babe," like in my ear, and I
Mm-mm.
look over and I go to Diana. I go, "What?" Yeah, the room is pitch black. What? They're like, "Mm." I'm like,
I
I'm
don't
like,
snore.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I heard,
Mm-hmm.
babe. They call that lucid dream or lucid state, where like you're not actually sleeping and you're not actually awake. You're like in
Right.
this middle ground.
Right.
A lot of people, when I was a kid, I used to have a lot of lucid dreams,
Mm-hmm.
but luckily, I was too much of a chicken shit to actually open my eyes.
I see.
Because when I was falling asleep, I would feel literally my chest indent, like if somebody was like starting to sit on my chest,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like somebody was starting to sit on my chest, and it is known that in lucid sleep, people suffer from this concept, especially children, that when you wake, and it happens to adults though,
Mm-hmm.
where you wake up and when you feel the sensation, you open your eyes, and you can't move, your body's stiff, and what you see is a demon sitting on top of you, like sitting on your chest,
Hell no.
because your mind is literally in this like transitory
Yeah, you're like
state,
in between, almost between.
being awake and being dead. You're like
Right.
in
You're
this
like in another
weird state.
world, kind of thing.
Exactly. So I've had that happen, not
So,
specifically
so
that.
that's in the beginning. You could do a lot of things with that. So I've been reading on astral flights. That's how that starts. In between that,
Mm-mm.
Yes.
um,
Heard that.
uh, there's a lot of things that you do within that state. When you get into that state, that's when you almost can manifest anything, and
Yeah.
that's how you auto program your brain subconsciously
Yeah.
within there. That's when you have your your affirmations and your shit that you say.
Yeah. So yeah, all those things, and one other movie that I'll mention before we move on to the final question of the day is,
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it before. It's called Hereditary. Have you ever watched it?
No.
I recommend it. I mean, and watch it. You know, with the lights off, like just watch it, like be into it and stuff.
Right.
It's fucked up. I'm not going to ruin it, but it's a movie. I'll give you the synopsis, high level. A movie of a family that the family business has kind of been about being into the occult,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh.
the mother I forgot the name of the actress. Great actress. I love that actress. Australian actress. She is she like doesn't know, but she knows that something has always been off about her mother. Like she
Hmm.
always knows that something's been off and
Hmm.
whatever. And her mom has always been very oddly interested in her children,
Hmm.
like just like this obsessive kind of way,
Hmm.
It's
like his
freaky.
time will come soon and this and all that kind of weird shit.
Hmm.
And the movie starts off with the mom being at the main woman, Tony Collette. That's the woman's
Mm.
actress's name, Tony Collette. Tony Collette starts off as the mother at the funeral of her mother, and so she starts kind of giving the eulogy and this and that, and then a lot of weird shit starts to happen. But the movie feels very like it's supernatural, but it feels very real in its emotion. That actress is a great emotive actress. Like she when she cries, when she's in pain, like you feel that shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the hypothetical of that happening
Yeah.
is one of those movies that when you watch it, you're like, dude, that's some crazy shit, man.
Yeah, I was.
Because even though it feels out of this world,
Hmm.
you think to yourself, that
What
could
if?
happen.
Yeah, there's some people.
You know, if things happen a little like this and then things happen a little like that, and this could happen,
Mhm.
far fetched, but it could, right? More likely than Nightmare on Elm Street, if you get what I mean.
Right.
So, but anyways, yeah, that's a movie I recommend if you guys haven't watched it. If you haven't watched it, able to watch. It's called Hereditary.
Hereditary.
All
Scary.
right, so final one here,
Vamos a ver lo que
final
tiene.
question of the day. This one's going to be an
Are
interesting
you
one
still
to
keeping up
answer.
with this?
Are
Oh,
you
jeez.
still being influenced or manipulated by your parents or a parent? Now, as being
Mm.
Hispanic,
Still to this day.
as growing up in a Hispanic household, Cuban, whatever kind of Hispanic you are, this definitely I think hits home with a lot of different people because Hispanic parents are very kind of involved in their children's lives. Abel, I'll defer to you again on the first for the first answer here.
In my parents, my mom mostly, she did. Was almost like like what do we call this? You know, she would just do and say things, man. That I first you don't know when you're a kid, man. When you start growing up, you're like, coño, that sounds like some major manipulation there that she's trying to pull. So I learned how to esquivar eso un poco. You know, she would kind of like jubilee me. That's what we call it at the house. To make you feel bad about something.
Yeah.
I worked really hard to get this, and lo estás tirando a mierda, and.
That's
Yeah.
common with I think that's common with all kinds of parents, but in particular I think with Hispanic parents because they have the trauma of coming here from another country and not having shit. No matter what you do, I've discovered this. No matter what you do, what you're going through is nowhere nearly as tough as what they've been through.
Well, I could tell you by a simple one that they used to do to probably all of us. Eat all your food because the kids in Africa are starving.
Oh, that still happens
Well, that's a
today.
simple manipulation. Yeah, but
I mean,
That's
especially
like,
when you're Cuban, that's a big one
and then
because it's like Fidel's coming and stealing your food, so you
right,
better fucking
and
eat.
so then they complain that we're overweight. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why we're worried because they make us eat everything.
And it's a conundrum because the first thing they'll do because they're being nice and because they love you is to tell you, coño, que gorda tú estás or que gordo tú estás.
I go, coño, pero si tú me embutes con comida all the time when I get here, abuela.
And when you turn around and say, wait, what the fuck? They go, no, no, I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like being Hispanic. Sometimes you got to be schizophrenic.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
What do you think about it, D? Do you do that to the girls? Do you manipulate the girls?
Ah.
There's some
Hmm.
levels of manipulation.
Yeah,
It's a guiding. It's guiding to the
it's
right
guiding.
direction.
The first round of jujitsu was manipulated where the kids didn't want to do jujitsu anymore. And that had to do a lot with,
Dun, 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 dun.
Listen, no, it
yes, it
wasn't.
was. Instead of encouraging them and being like, no, don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. You took advantage right
Well,
away to
I
be
am
like,
not fond of things that can kill you or hurt you or anything.
Oh no,
Because
you're dying right away.
so
Forget about the apocalypse.
for,
The
yes.
zombie apocalypse. That's it. It's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
no, because I avoid the freaking situations. Okay, I'm like, nope, this is a bad
Yeah,
idea.
but how are you gonna kill zombies?
I ain't gonna kill them. I run.
You're gonna manipulate them
I'm
into
gonna
something or what?
manipulate them into something else. I'm like, look, that one's over there is better. That one's meaty. That one's meaty.
Ven acá, y los papás tuyos, did they do that to you and your brothers?
Um, my mom, she can be a little manipulative when it comes to like it's not even I don't even think she thinks that she's doing it. She just says certain things. I can't think of something right now, but you know, what can I, how, I know there's been situations that I've been through, like,
I don't want to mention them.
yeah.
I don't want to be in the doghouse.
Va a estar cambiando llanta.
Yeah.
I
But yeah,
don't know.
her mom. If we're talking about her mom, every parent has a fault, including us as
Of
parents.
course, dude.
But I think there's something to be said about I think the notion of your parents feeling like
They know more
they
than
were
you.
no, and they were the greatest parents ever
Yeah.
because now you're a shit. You don't know what you're doing, but when they were your parents, they were the greatest. And you're looking at it going like, dude, that's not what I remember.
No, that's exactly the thing. So I had the same conversation. I thought it was that Amy and I had done pretty good.
Yeah.
And when you have when your kids get bigger, they will let you know where you fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They will
we know that.
I'm
We
worried.
know that.
they will tell you. They'll be like, you did this and you did that,
And
and they'll
even if
remember.
even if you think that you're doing the right thing, so even if you say, for example, I'm going to let my kids eat ice cream every day.
Right.
When they get older, they'll come to you and be like, "It's because you let me eat ice cream every day that I'm a piece of shit." And you're gonna be like, "Dude,
How did that happen?
but
Right.
every kid wants to eat ice cream."
Right.
And you got ice cream.
Yeah.
So
That's what
why are
happened.
you
Yeah,
complaining?
that's the same thing that happened to me with my kids. Well, but I go, why do you guys are constantly eating, sweets, dude? What is the problem with you guys, And we're like, what do you were the one that raised us, man. Every time we got
You're the
hurt,
one that took us to McDonald's, man.
every time they got into an argument or they once if they got an A, they went and they got cookies and ice cream. If they did this, they got cookies and
Yeah,
I was always rewarding them with food.
so junk is rewarding. Yeah.
Right. So then that's their go-to.
Yeah,
And
but
then
come
I'm
on.
like, coño, I fucked up. I should have been giving them an apple.
But now it's your fault.
Oh yeah. I
It's
mean,
because you did that
right.
day.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you know how I deal with it. I'm like, bueno, coño, por lo menos you got a better version than the version I got from my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think every parent says that.
Yeah.
Diana's dad, for example, says to her in her face, "At least you don't get what I got." You know what I mean? And I agree. I don't disagree because I've heard the stories of his old man, and I'm like, damn, at least he wasn't like that.
Right.
Well,
But
you too with your dad,
and me
you
with
know.
my dad, my dad is a very serious man, and I've grown up with that all my life. But from what I've heard, my dad is a joy and a circus clown compared to my grandfather. I mean, my
Mhm.
grandfather, I really didn't know him because I was born in Cuba, but I wasn't raised there. He stayed behind. He
Okay.
died of a stroke on a fucking sidewalk in Havana. But from what I heard, and I only met him, I think, twice when I was like 7 years old when he él hizo la visita. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Right.
But imagine he's my grandfather. It's like Diana's dad with the kids. He's a
Right.
clown now. He's Mr. Circus guy. But with them, father's different dynamic. So my dad with his dad, different dynamic. My grandfather with me, the few times I met him, different dynamic.
Right.
So, but I heard that he was like fucking like not only strict, but as dry as they come, dude.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I understand that being said. At least you didn't get what I had, you know.
Yeah.
And we do that. We do that with our girls today. I'm like, well, I try to do things differently than I was kind of raised because and I think the manipulation. There's something to be said about the manipulation,
Right.
especially when we're talking about parents that are immigrants. You have a different way of looking at life. For God's sakes, I have two fucking parents in Miami at this day in time
Mhm.
that still don't know three words in English.
Mm.
They don't assimilate to the culture.
Mhm.
They don't assimilate to what we know, the standards, the jokes, the way of living, the things that are trending. They don't assimilate to that shit because they don't even speak the
Yeah,
language.
they're stuck. They're still in Cuba.
So when you go out and you say something like, I'm going to go and do this, no matter how good it is for your life, no matter how good it is, they look at you like they're like
Es
you're a
una
fucking
mierda.
psychopath.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I told my mom that I was going at the time. I was young. I was going to the Art Institute in
Right.
downtown
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to study not graphic designing, but it was like motion animation or some crap. Like it's like the type of stuff that people do on like Channel 7 News when you see the stuff splash on the screen. It's like just in and all this kind of stuff. I was gonna go study that crap. Visual. They call it visual effects. My mom literally said to my face, I'll never forget this, that I was going to be a piece of shit
Hmm.
because I was going to study that.
Mhm.
And I was like, I mean, now as an adult, I'm like, okay, well, that's harsh. But at the time, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. What I do believe, bro, that you even if you were a piece of shit dad or you had faults being a dad or a mom, I think you're given a second chance to redeem yourself and that's
with the
when it comes
grandkids.
along with the grandkids. And that's what I told Amy. I go, we might have not been the perfect parents, but God will give us the opportunity to do a better job on the next turn,
Yeah,
and then tell the kids, and then use that as as a as a a platform to teach them. Is, hey, by the way, I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids because they're yours, but I know that this is why you're doing it because this is what I told you. But now looking at it from another point of view, I was wrong, and maybe you should do this, and then let him take care of that or let her take care of that. But you redeem yourself in, like, not being, when you have the parents that are never that are not present, they don't go to your baseball games because they're working, or they don't go to things that you wanted to do. You know,
yeah.
like if you had a parent that didn't support anything you do, but now you as a grandfather, now you can support your grandkids on whatever the fuck they want to do. Oh, you want to do visual effects? Yay, let's go take the baby to do
I
physician.
just think I just think that kids, in a weird way, are never satisfied with what they have. Like if you have a parent who's strict, you want the parent who's loose, and if you have the parent who's loose, you want the parent who's strict. But I think it all depends on the dynamic of the child, to be honest. Because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I was not the type of kid that was like excuse me, I was the type of kid that wasn't altogether very confident.
Mm-hmm.
I knew kids even in elementary school that oozed confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Junior high, certainly. High school, certainly.
Right.
I didn't start to ooze confidence until maybe I was a senior in high school. And that was because I evolved.
Right. You were a late bloomer.
It wasn't because my parents taught me. It wasn't because I was like, fuck everyone.
Right.
And that's when I really started to become like just my individual self.
Right.
It took me that long, probably 11th grade, but it took me that long. But I certainly would have benefited from having a parent that was more loose, more social,
Right.
more engaging,
Right.
more conversational. That's not what I had, and that's not to say that it was terrible because I had everything. I did not have anything missing from my life, right? But at the end of the day, you look towards those people who have that, and you almost long for that, and it's a very weird thing.
So let me ask you a question. Now that we're on the topic, and the reason why I'm asking you is because I don't have a brother or sister. I have a brother now. I have a brother, but I didn't grow up with him. Is it feel difficult when your parents, like, they don't have it's not undivided attention? It has to be either your sister or you. Do you feel like they, like, you feel
Well,
left out? Like
I
like
was
More
the
of a Diana
baby.
question.
I was the baby. So, and I was the only girl. Well, sort of.
Sí, pero la niña en la
But
casa always gets all the attention.
I mean,
I know.
technically, there
So,
was two girls in that house, but
Anda, hueca.
but the honest truth, it's different for me. The experience that I had
Hmm.
with my parents than my brothers could probably say, you know?
Hmm.
Also, I was later in their life. They were in their 30s when they had me. They're more mature, they're older.
Hmm.
Um, they probably seen things.
Sure.
So with me, I was la niña linda, la niña that did everything. I learned from my brother's mistakes. So to me, I don't know, but I don't know, like as a mother now, and I see my three girls, there's definitely not that I treat them different, but I expect more from my oldest than my youngest. And then like La Niña, Madison, una magria, but then the other two are like these. Oh, everybody always had to say, "Oh my God, they're so well behaved. They're this or that," and I not doing the same thing with Madison. We've spoken about this,
mm-hmm.
like screen time, for example. Oh my God, that was never a thing with my oldest, and my oldest too, right?
Hmm.
But with this one, she gets screen time, and you can totally tell the difference. And I don't know, like
No, my kid will say, like, well, Adriana gets away with murder. You guys would have never let me do all of that. I'm like, coño,
she
pero you
does,
guys
and that my girls tell me that.
yeah, they do, and they feel resentment for it.
I
At least mine
try,
did,
I
in a
try, but it's
sense.
like really hard because the one that's loudest is the little baby that's annoying.
Right, because so the one that's the loudest, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I get that.
Yeah.
La que
Yeah.
jode siempre tiene que estar arriba de ella.
In my case, I just have one sibling, my older sister, and she's about 7 years older than me.
Yeah, she's about my age. I haven't seen a picture of her.
No, she's a little young. She's 7 years older than me, bro. I'm 41, so she's like what, 48?
47,
No,
48.
she's much younger than I am.
Yeah, you're what, like
43.
68? So anyways, um, so yeah, but my sister, I don't want to tell her life story very much on here, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's like she got relatively knocked up when she was young, and excuse me, she got knocked up relatively young, and she left the house. So when I was like around 10 years old,
She was
she was
gone.
out.
Oh no
She was
shit.
gone. She was gone. So I lived a life for the most part like if I was an only child.
Oh, okay. So you got all the
My
attention.
sister raised me in a way when I was a kid. So when I was in Venezuela, not so much because my parents would I would almost be alone because my mom used to clean the building and I had to stay home alone a lot. But when we moved to Miami, when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, during that time period, and I think that's one of the reasons she got
She
knocked up because she wanted to
babysitted
get the
you.
fuck out of that house. She was basically raising me like if she was my mother because my
Yeah.
parents had to work. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But my sister left young, and I was essentially alone. So in a way, I grew up like an only child, even though I had a sister. It was a very weird fucking dynamic. There has been absolutely nothing about my entire life
That is normal.
that has been not normal
No,
because
I know that just seemed like you were gonna say
it
that.
was normal in quotes, but like anything that was there was like a strong. That's why we always joked around saying that we're like hybrids. We're
Mhm.
not this and we're not that and we're not this and we're not that. It's like we're not Cuban enough and we're not American enough and we're not this enough and we're not that enough and it's like we're never enough of something.
Right.
And I look at people that have an identity, that have like a country or a family or a thing or a structure that's strong and
Mhm.
it's almost like enviable. I'm like, going, you have an identity that you click with.
Mhm.
I most of my life just by consequence, you know what I mean? I have not been ever in that. And what I'm trying to do
Or
is
by tradition.
by tradition. Well, my family has had a lot of tradition, but it's just I don't want to get too much into that. But with my girls, the whole point is that we've tried to kind of rectify and steer that ship in a way where we hope that through them they'll start to build more of the traditions through their children. They'll start to look more to us and be like, I remember we used to do this with
With mom
grandpa and
and dad,
grandma,
right?
whatever. I want to go do these things, whatever,
Right.
coerce their husbands to go do this shit, whatever,
Right.
because it's something that we do and I'm okay with that. I think that if I'm able to get to that, I could honestly, not that I have to forgive my parents, because I don't have to forgive them for anything, but I feel like I could forgive almost myself in a weird way for not having had that. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I feel good with that. Like I feel good with that. It's almost like if I didn't get it in the back end, I get it in the front end. I'm
Mm.
okay. You know, I'm okay with that, and that's what I'm working towards. That's what I work towards. That's why we treat our daughters differently than I did. My parents never told me they loved me. My Hispanic parents don't grow up telling they love their children. Maybe some do. Maybe those that are more Americanized, but those very old school ones don't ever go and go, "Oh, I love you so much." Never did I ever barely see my friends get that, and I never fucking got that shit. Like I
Well,
never
I'm a
got that
girl,
shit.
so I got it.
But your parents are more Americanized. Your dad got
Y-
to this country young.
They still say I love you to me.
My
Do they speak English?
My
our
daddy
dad,
and my mom, yeah.
And you're both.
Yeah.
my
So.
parents got here in their 30s. It was
Mhm.
completely different dynamic. So and they went through a very fucking hard time trying to get to this country and everything they
Mhm.
went through. So but that's why it's like we have this thing to be present in that and to make sure that we tell them at every turn, "Oh, I love you," this, that, and the other. And every turn, try to be more social with them, more involved with them, and whatever. And make it something where we are. And I'm not sure if you suffer from this, Abel, but make
Mhm.
it something where we are malleable. If the kid doesn't want to do this, if the kid doesn't want to do that, if they okay, we won't simply be like, "Well, it's okay for you to quit." But I'm okay with you trying something else. When I was a kid, I grew up
Right.
playing baseball. Biggest fucking mistake I think I've ever made in my life. Because the minute I went down that path, all my parents would ever get involved with me in was in playing fucking baseball.
Because
God
it's
forbid,
something they liked.
God forbid I wanted to ride a skateboard.
Right.
God forbid I wanted to play a drum set. God forbid I wanted to hang out with my friends and go do some shit because it wasn't baseball. You understand?
Right.
And the whole life was that.
Los
It was
peloteros.
consumed by
Mhm.
that. And I'm not trying to do that with my daughters. Yeah, jujitsu now, for example, is a thing, and I want them to go deep and fucking hard into this eventually. But if for some reason they get to a point they're like, I don't want this shit anymore, I'm not gonna guilt them into like not doing it.
No, what I would do with mine would be more like, all right, listen, you want to do karate, right? Yeah, that's what you sure this is what you want to do, or you want to do soccer, able to. So this is what you want to do. All right, when you commit, if you're gonna commit, you got to commit for the whole year. Don't tell me that in 30 days you're done, that in two classes you're done. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I go because obviously we're not rich, so this is 125 bucks a month plus your geese and all your gear and all your bullshit, which is about almost 700 bucks just to get you fucking started, bro.
Yeah.
So are you gonna commit?
Yeah.
And then don't no me llores después que I don't want to go. You're gonna go,
Right.
and that's the deal I always had with him.
But that's okay,
And
and
then
and
he would
that
be like,
that makes sense.
because I don't want it. I didn't want that. I'm not because then it's today's karate, tomorrow's piano, the next day is this, and then
Bro.
I mean, even though they do need that, I mean, even college kids, take the elective so you really know what the hell you want, but you're trying still at that age. I think you're trying to form structure and responsibility and all of that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
You know.
I missed a fucking school field trip when I was in 8th grade to Busch Gardens with my entire class
Mm-hmm.
because I had a fucking baseball game with a team that was like 7-26, bro. We'd only had won like 7
And
games.
you had to go to the
I
game.
could understand if we were going to the playoffs. I could understand if we were like playing tournament. We were just playing at Tamiami, bro.
Yeah.
And my mother did not let me go because of that. That to me was when it comes to playing the sport,
Mm-hmm.
that to me is what kind of broke the straw of the camel's back because I was good at fucking baseball. Like I really was. And
Okay.
I even got to the point that I got borderline offered scholarships and everything if I really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't when I was younger. That broke the straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back because that traumatized me a little bit.
Oh, we should do like a softball thing. We should get into softball.
What do you mean?
Like get a team, but
Oh,
softball. But
coach and shit.
not a coach, but sponsor a
Cuban
league or
dude.
Cuban dudes,
Oh
like
fuck yeah,
the
I'd be
bad news
down.
bears and shit.
Well, I have a buddy. Well, me and my buddy, Ozzy, the one that's moving up here to Williston.
Okay.
I know he's into baseball too, or whatever the fuck. And
He
I'll,
only
I'll,
has
I'll see, I'll see,
girls.
I'll see how good he is actually when he gets up here. But anyways, he's big into all that shit, so maybe we'll do something. But anyways, man, the point I think the greatest point that I'm trying to say is you get manipulated by your parents because they make you when you're a kid, the world is the microcosm of what you know. Your family is the world.
Right. And you are a product of your
And
environment.
you're a product of your environment. It's like we can't get away from that. My kids, like you said it up front. My kids are gonna get to a point when they're older that they're gonna be like, you did this shit to me, and I'm gonna be like, whoa, we
Right.
gave you everything you ever wanted. It's
Or
because you gave me everything I
yeah,
ever
they're
wanted.
gonna be like, I wish I would have gone to public school so this wouldn't happen.
Yes,
Right.
probably go to
I
public
worry about that
school.
too. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, you
If
didn't
I
miss
would have
it.
had less shit, bro, for
Uh-huh.
Christmas, these kids get 10,000 items each, and it's like, and it's because
Yeah,
I'm
but you
like,
guys are blessed to do it.
but it's
No,
not
but we
just
have our
because of
grandparents
that.
are alive.
Yes, but it's also the grandparents, everything
Uh-huh.
aggregated, and I fear shit like that. I fear like oh, it's because you gave me, or it's because you moved up here, or it's because this, or it's because that. I would have been
So,
better.
so why don't you guys turn that around and say, "Hey, girls, why don't this year, we might just get 5 things, and let's go into your rooms and let's pick up all these toys that you don't play with,
We've done that.
and take
We've
it
done that.
somewhere
We've
so they
done
can
that.
see that the little kids will be so
Yeah, we
grateful
We've
done
for."
done
that.
that. That we've started to do that. I think the past few years,
Yeah.
we've been doing
I
that.
think that's a good way so they can see how the other half live
Yeah.
and
Right.
have a
Right.
little more,
Yeah.
you know, say, coño, tú sabes, el juguetico este cuesta algo. People would love this little thing. And I think they
Yeah.
just like my kids, I mean, they didn't grow up rich, we were always struggling stuff. And they knew, that, I told them, and Amy can tell you, I'll tell them, okay, papito, listen, I have enough for the Kmart shoes, but you're looking for Nikes, papi, you're going to have to work for that.
Uh.
Mhm.
And then the kid had to work at 14
Oh.
so he can
Oh.
get what he wanted. But he learned what the value of a dollar was.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely.
And that's very important for them to know what it's worth. I mean, my son had been selling, so when he was very, very young in junior
Does
high.
he complain about that?
No, he actually he's glad that. So when he was very young, we used to buy him candies and chewing gum and erasers and pencils and loose leaf paper, and the kid would be selling all of that in school. He was always coming home with money at all the time. He was like, "Dad, this is incredible. Everybody, they don't have pencils. They come to me now to buy the pencils and the erasers." And I go, and the kid would make tons of money, tons.
Mm.
And I told him, "You're good at sales." I go, "The only thing I don't want you to do is ever to sell drugs, bro." I goes, "Because you're gonna fuck yourself up." I told him.
I was gonna say, was that a primer to start selling coke or what?
No, no, the fucking kid. That's what he still does. He does sales, bro. He sold everything except drugs. Al
Yeah,
tipo te vende ahora de todo.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's great at it.
Good.
He's got a knack.
Everything is sales at the end of the day, bro.
It is.
Um, bueno, enough about the parents. We're gonna let the foot off the gas on that one.
No more therapy sessions
No more
Yeah,
here.
therapy sessions. Bueno,
yeah.
for not having a
A
guest,
guest, we filled up quite a bit of
so
time
almost an hour and a half talking.
talking shit. All right, guys. So we will be back next Tuesday, and remember, this Saturday, for those of you that are in Gainesville,
Yes.
we will be at ¿cómo
First
se llama la finca
magnitude
esta? First Magnitude Brewery,
ceviche festival
Ceviche Festival Saturday. I think it starts at 1.
at 1 o'clock.
We will be there. So if you guys want to go ahead and say hi and talk to us, if those of you that are participating in the event, if you happen to be watching, you're participating in the event, we'd love to interview you. You just get some footage. We're gonna make a package afterwards where we're gonna put that on the YouTube and on the Instagram and TikToks and all that shit, and move that along. So we're gonna be there Saturday, 1 o'clock. Make sure to be there if you're in Gainesville. If you're in Miami, those comedians that are in Miami that we've reached out to, a lot of people that are excited to be on the show. We will be back next week, Tuesday and Thursday. We have comedian Matt Valen coming with us next Tuesday. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be very fun. I love that guy. I mean, from what I've seen, he's hilarious. Excited to talk to him, and that's about it. Anything else from you guys?
Nope.
All right, guys, we are
Let's
out.
do it. Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
El Cuban Dudes Show with Andy and Abel. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Cuban Dudes, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Cuban Dudes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.